thanks for joining me. This is the third division strategy that your child is going to be learning. This one's called the Hangman Method. Now, this is one that I learned in college when I took a course on teaching elementary students math. And this strategy helps very much so for those students that don't like the busyness of long division visually, where the numbers to them get kind of jumbled up and it's hard to keep track of. And this strategy also helps students that might not know their facts as well. For example, when you're doing the regrouping or the bring it down method, you have to know the highest number possible to use when you're multiplying. So for example, if I wanted to know 9 times what gets me to 54, some students know that's 6, but some students spend a lot of time trying to jump around or skip count, and it takes them a while. Now, I want them to learn their facts, but this strategy might help if your child is struggling with their facts, because it lets them start with what they know and to add from there. Okay, so you're going to notice right away that this looks different than the other one. You're going to notice this kind of hangman style. So when you play that game, we kind of draw this where they have the man hanging with the spelling. So it looks very, very similar. When I start with the kids, I tell them not to make the line super long and add it as you need it, because otherwise kids, you'll draw this and they'll make it way off the page and they won't need that much room. So this is, again, is different. So keep an open mind. And if you end up not liking this method, that's okay. But true mathematicians know how to use a variety of strategies, and this is one of them. Okay, so in the other methods, we've been looking at individual place values. How much does 3 go into 5, 3 into 9, and 3 into 2? This method is different. This method is asking you to look at this entire number of 592 and asking yourself 3 times what would get me close. Now, you might already be saying, there's no way my child knows 3 times what gets them to 592. Okay, but you know, your child does know that 100 times 3 equals 300. So this side out here on the right is for all the groups that I'm going to take away, and I'm going to keep track of them along the way. So 100 times 3 equals 300. So I'm going to subtract 300 just like I would in a typical division problem. So when you're multiplying, whatever you're multiplying the 3 by comes out here as your equal group, and I'll show you how we keep track of that in the end. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract. Okay, so now I'm looking at 292. Now I can't use 100 again because 292 is lower. Okay, so we might try, maybe your child wants to try 50, let's say. Okay, because they know 3 times 5 is 15, add the 0, makes it 150. So you can already see there's definitely some numbers, not probably, there are some numbers in between 150 you could try, but I find that 0s and 5s often are a good friend to start with, and it eliminates numbers as it's comfortable for them. So let's subtract again. I pulled out 50 groups, so that makes it 2, 4, and 1. Okay, so now I can't do 50 again because that equaled 150, and I'm looking at 142 now. So I know I can do 40 groups now, because 4 times 3 is 12, and then add the 0. So I'm going to take out a group of 120, because 40 times 3 is 120. So I'm going to end up with 22. I know that 3 times 7 equals 21. And I subtract that 21, because 7 times 3 is 21, and I get a 1. Okay? Now, when your child is drawing this, I would ask them to draw the line further down. I'm not going to interrupt the video to do that. So I get down to 1, and I know that nothing times 3 equals 1. So I know that 1 is my remainder. Okay? Now, all these equal groups that you pull away from 592 simply get added together. Okay? So 150 makes 150. Then we're going to add. So if your child needs to keep track, this would be something I would encourage them to do if they need to. If they don't need to, that's great. Okay, so 150 and 40 makes 190. And 190 plus 7 gives you 197. Okay, you should notice this. This same problem of 592 divided by 3 is the same problem we used with the bring it down method. So you should see that we got the same answer. But again, a smart fox might want to double check, because they won't always have the same problem to solve. So I'm going to multiply. So 7 times 3 is 21. 9 times 3, 27, plus 2 is 29. Carry the 2. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. Again, I got to remember to add in my remainder. And I get 592. which matches my problem. Okay? So again, this method I like because it allows children to start with the number that they feel comfortable with. You could do this problem multiple ways because someone might not start with 100, they might start with 50, or they might start with 20. Whatever works for them. And I find that this, even though some of you might think, oh, if they start with a really low number, it's going to take them forever. But the point of this one really is showing them what facts they know and what facts maybe they need to work on to be more successful. So I like this visual of just the subtraction going down. I like the idea of adding up the groups that I made in the end, and I still get the same answer. So again, a different method. If you have questions about this one, because it is a little bit different, feel free to contact me, and I would be happy to help you. Thank you for watching.